As we go into our inspirational reading, it's not really a reading, it's more like an inspirational thought. But sometimes it's not the amount of words, it's what the words say. Now, this was attributed to the Dalai Lama, but I have to be honest, I have not had time to fact check that. So I'm not sure, but these are the words. The power of the tongue is real. Stop saying I'm tired, I'm broke, I'm depressed. Start saying I'm grateful, I'm growing, I'm thriving. Speak life into yourself. Your words shape your reality.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First, thank you to my friend for the introduction and for the opportunity to be here with all of you. There's a part of us, I think all of us, that when we do work and we don't know what we're about to do, I think you can understand the feeling of being anxious or nervous about what's about to occur. And I feel as a medium and as a minister, that's true every time we step up to the podium. But what I'm impressed with this morning is a simple story. And that story is in reflection to an appearance that I had with my own father at one point. When my father passed from this world, having been a former funeral director, having still being a medium, I walked out of his house and I said to the spiritual realm en route to my car, I don't want to hear from him. I need time to grieve. In my logical mind, setting a boundary for myself, thinking, if he shows up, whatever. Didn't know whatever, but I said to the spiritual realm, I don't want to hear from him. I need time to grieve. 3 days later, I'm driving down to my mother's house to meet up with my mother and sisters to do the photo boards that that we all do in celebration of someone's life. And I'm sitting on a major roadway at a traffic light, and I feel energy building up. I've told this story before. I feel energy building up. I grip the wheel, and I'm actually looking in the rearview mirror saying, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look, don't look. How stupid is that? And yet, my father's sitting next to me. And I turned to him. Now, understand, my father was a drill instructor in the Marines. I turned to him and I said, son of a gun, Dad, I didn't want to see you yet. I needed time to grieve. His response, true to form, hey, this isn't about you. I needed you to know that I was okay. I needed you to know that I was okay. When we as mediums and people who come to mediums go, we all have this desire to understand, to know, to perhaps deal with life and reassure that the decisions we've made for someone's health and well-being were the right decisions, the desire to understand that the relationship that we have continues, and maybe they can reassure me that my flight to England is going to be okay, or if any of those, any way that we live in the world, wanting some reassurance and guidance and support and love. Do we remember that the communication is also important to them? It's also important to the spiritual realm. I wanted to reassure you that I was okay. Take a moment in your own experience of receiving a message from somebody. Irrelevant to the fact of the message's perfection, if a medium has come to you and said, I have your grandmother here, and I always will say grandmother so you don't think I'm reading yet. But if a medium's saying, I've got your grandmother here, grandmother's coming in for a reason. Whether she was your favorite grandmother or not, the spiritual realm is showing up, yes, to support, yes, to encourage, yes, to remind you that the relationship you shared in life continues. And that life continues, and that our consciousness moves further, and that we live on past this physical life, yes. But also it's their desire. I've heard more than once in a session giving a client a message. I've heard the spirit realm say, I had a woman last week whose father came through, whose father burst out laughing and said to her brother in the spiritual realm. So I had this woman, her father, her mother, and brother are standing with me in my awareness from the spirit side. I hear the father say to the brother, excuse my language, holy sugar, this is working. Not about the medium. My hubris, my desire, my narcissism could have kicked in like, hey, look at me, I'm doing it. Not about me. Not about me. The Father's delight, because the Father's not believing in this process in this world, being able to turn to his son and say, holy sugar, this is working. The Father became more engaged. And let's just say the apology, the depth of apology that came through was needed, not just for the daughter's sake in receiving the message, but equally as important to the father. When that woman left the session, now I take off my glasses, I can see you, but I can't see you. When she left, she did not look like the woman I greeted. She looked 20 years brighter. She looked 20 years lighter. But it's not only about the client. The father at the end turned to his wife in spirit. She started to smile. The wife in spirit started to smile and weep and said, finally. And then she said, my daughter can start to relax in her life now. The brother burst out laughing. At one point said, oh no, it's my time to step up and apologize. Now, I'm not going to go into, you don't need to know the circumstance of the apology. You understand that it wasn't just for the client receiving the message, but it was also for the people in spirit to be able to convey their voice, to set right whatever they needed to set right. And so, why this story this morning? This experience, this religion of spiritualism, this science and philosophy of spiritualism is teaching us that life continues after death. If we look at it from our three-dimensional view, wow, this is cool. Oh, wow, look at what Richard can do. Look at what Sharon can do. Look what Leslie, look what any one of us can do stepping up here. Yes, it's great. But take it from a broader perspective. Look at what's happening. What do you think's happening with mom, dad, and the brother? They walk away from the connection, having expressed a sense of apology, the father and brother, and the mother a sense of relief that that daughter, that client, that woman in this world can move ahead with her life in a different way. And the client's ability then to restructure their mind, choice or not, but restructure their mind in a way that, wait, dad said he was sorry. Now, does that mean in that moment that the client needed to, oh, dad's the greatest? No. That's the beginning of the process for that individual to move further into their life. But as the mother said something to the effect of, now my daughter can move ahead with her life. Mediumship is a magnificent ability. There's no question about that. But there is a responsibility that goes with it. And what happens in the process is not about the medium. It's about what's happening between two worlds, the physical and the spiritual realm. We speak about mediumship helping to prove the continuity of life. Look at him, wow. Look at her, wow. No. Think about that grandmother that you didn't like. showing up. It's just a reference. It's not everyone's grandmother. We know that. But for her to even show up just to say hello, whether you liked her or not, that grandmother's doing something to try to help ease your way, and yes, hers. There's a larger dynamic at play here. We talk about being connected to each other. I walk into this center. I adore Sharon as a friend and respect her as a colleague, and I love the people I've come to know here through the center and being a part of it. We talk about that connection, but let's take it past the three-dimensional connection. We all know that the healing energy that we received is also reverberating out through us. We all understand that we too, whether you're ordained or whether you're certified or whether you're commissioned as a minister, medium, or healer, is not the point. Each and every one of us in our divinity has the right to live in this world and bless another and help another to come into a place where they understand who they are in the world. Therein is the gift in my mind. If we can help one another come to the place of awareness of our own divinity, not from a place of hubris, not from a place of, look at me again, I'm all that. But if within our heart we can truly understand that we are so much more than this three-dimensional being that we are, and we can understand that when we cross over, we have work still to do in a sense, that we might show up and say, hey, it's not about you, but it's something I needed to do. Right now, we're in the season of light. All of our holidays are commencing at this time. Each and every one of us is an expression of that light. Yes, we decorate. Yes, we put lights on a tree. We put candles in a menorah. We light candles for other circumstances and reasons and religions and so forth. It's an external expression of what's internal. The divine light that we carry and the work that we are meant to do further afield. Look, Sharon said it in my biography when she introduced me, I should say. In the moment that my grandparents showed up 28 years ago, I thought I was dying. I still think that. You could ask Sharon what we discussed over breakfast, okay? Oh my God, I'm not going to go there. But one of the beauties of this religion, one of the beautiful aspects of it, is we'll get the chance to continue further afield and still do the divine work that we are meant to do in growing our soul. I think back to the childhood that I had and the way I was raised by my dad. And I think back to the moment when he said again, hey, it's not about you. Talk about embarrassment. Sorry, Dad. But by sharing the story with you, I hope you understand that those connections that come through for you, not about you alone. It's about the relationship continuing and the further development of the soul. Wow. So in this season of light, I hope that my words give you a sense of encouragement, and I hope that the feeling that I convey behind them gives you a sense of hope. Remember the people you love, both in this realm, those who are personally known to you and those who are not. And remember those you love who have crossed over. And as you live in this world, display all the love that is humanly possible for another, as best to your ability, so that you don't have to come back through a medium later on and say you're sorry. In any event, thank you for allowing me to share some thoughts with you this morning. Bless you all.